Welcome back to the series. Today we're going to talk about plan limits, zip file extractions, and a custom landing page. For this zip file extraction function, I added it to the core so you can allow your users to upload zip files with your required file types, and you get the media DTO files for easier manipulation within SaasRock. Let's try the function by uploading two XMLs with zipped within a zip directory. So let's go to our XMLs route and let's try with compressing this XML and PDF and uploading this one. So it's uploaded correctly. As you can see, here's the XML and the PDF. Now let's try with subdirectories. So we have this folder and this folder. Let's delete this and let's create a zip file with these two folders. So two XMLs will be created. Here it is. Now let's talk about plan limits. You can either edit this file as I did, because here for the plan number 1 you can go to the features array and set your feature limits. For example, for the free plan, I have 1 taxpayer tops and 10 receipts tops and 30 XMLs tops. And on the plan number 2, I have 3 taxpayers maximum and 50 XMLs per month. So this is how it looks on the pricing page. 30 XMLs and 50 XMLs per month for the basic plan. You can also change this at this page on the setup pricing plans page. Instead of creating here, you can create your custom plan with your feature limits right here. But for easier development, I added to the default plan server, so each time I delete the database, I just need to create click here to create them. Here it is, the limit for XMLs, and for the basic I have 50 per month. So let's subscribe, because if we try to create another, since it's a feature limit now, it requires to have a subscription. So let's try subscribing the free plan, which includes I think 30 XMLs, but we can change it this value here, right here, because we want to test. Let's see if we set the limit to 4 and try to upload 2 more. So 4, and let's try to upload 2. So for the first one, it will go through the transition workflow. And for the last one, it will say limit reached. So let's talk about this workflow states. On the seed file, I have created these custom states for the XML entity. It starts with processing, and it can go through these states. And if it goes to the validating state, it can go through these states. So the processing first checks if the limit is reached, as you can see for this one. Otherwise, it will check the valid, if an XML is valid, and if it contains a UUID, it will check if it's duplicated, and if it doesn't, if it's not duplicated, it will check if the taxpayer is registered. For example, this one is unregistered taxpayer, so let's register this taxpayer. And let's start over by deleting all these XMLs. Okay, so it's empty now, so let's upload again. This is the same, I think. So one, it will say duplicated, and the other one will go to processed, as you can see here. So the logic for this is on the transition file. Here I check if the next state is processing, I'm going to process the XML, and if the next state is validating, I'm going to validate the XML. Here is just hard-coded to processed because I need to add custom logic that you won't need. And here on the process XML, it's all the logic. For example, if it doesn't have an XML, it returns an invalid state. Otherwise, it grabs the UUID, the issuer, the receiver, and if it doesn't contain any of this, it will send it to the invalid. Now we are going to update these values, and we're going to check if it's duplicated. And if it's duplicated, we're going to return this message. Otherwise, we're going to check the taxpayer. And if all was good, we're going to send this to the validating state, which on the transition will be catched right here, and it will validate them. So let's now test by sending an email with those, with let's say 5 XMLs. So my inbound address is right here. Test with 3 XMLs. Here's 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to wait until SaasRock receives the postmark webhook. Okay, so we have a created status. So let's go back and refresh this page. So 2 were processed and 1 reached the limit. So this way we don't force our users to stop uploading XMLs, but incentivize them to upgrade. So let's try upgrading. And now let's go through this XML, and as we are admin users, we can process them again. So let's send them to the processing state again, and it will say that it's duplicated, but it won't say that it's limit reached anymore. So this will be also for the receipts page. If I let our users upload a file of type received, let's upload any image, and let's upload an XML here. So it will be processed, and all this logic contains all the validation rules for my states. So users cannot bypass the limit, whether it is manually or by email or by receipts. And depending on the valid files, it will go to all these states, and if it's a valid, it will say like processed. And this is the whole purpose of this application. So finally, what changed is, for example, let me show you the hero, because the hero, the default is this one on SaasRock, but I changed a little bit to this one. I changed the logo, some copy, and the logo clouds. This is pending, the features. This is just SaasRock, as well as the features list. And the newsletter, I created a ConvertKit account so I can subscribe, and I updated my social links. And the footer changed to footer simple, because on SaasRock default is like this, but I don't need too much info, just the basics: product, pricing, blog, contact, terms and conditions, and privacy policy. Of course, you need to update your terms and privacy for your own application. And I deleted the docs page and the components routes. For example, here on the SaasRock, we have this documentation page, but on my SaaS, I don't need that page, so it's not found. So this is the final release on which SaasRock enterprise subscribers can get this code, because up to now it was like standard functionality, but from now on I'll add the custom logic, and this SaaS I want it to be released next week, so I can finish this series by saying that I built a SaaS with SaasRock within, I don't know, 8 or 9 or 10 days. Thanks.